Now, some people may say that it's way too early to do 53-man rooster projections as the draft is just in the books. Rookie camp hasn't gone down. The true part of OTAs and minicamp hasn't happened yet. And training camp, of course, and preseason. Don't care. This is how much I care. Right there. So we're going to do a 53-man roster projection after the draft. And it's difficult. It is really, really tough. So you have to balance a couple of things. Number one, this team has a lot of veterans that are held over from the previous regime. So Kwesi, Kevin O'Connell, they didn't draft them. They didn't extend them. So that loyalty is not going to be there. Also, to a degree, it's a little bit of cover your ass. Like if you spend a high draft pick or if you spend big time free agency dollars on a player and they're not panning out, if you're the GM who brought them in, you're usually just going to be like, this is going to be the year, mama, I can change him, because you don't want to have egg on your face. But we're going to go through players in gray make the 53-man roster. Players in green are on the practice squad, and players in red, cut it out. Throwback. Now, a lot of these are like not my choices, but what I think that Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell will do. So there we go. So there's 25 on offense, 25 on defense, 3 specialists, and then we'll go over the special teamers at the end. Because as far as I know, it does seem like they're going to keep the COVID practice squads of 16 going, because I think that's fantastic. The NFLPA has nothing to complain about because it's more jobs. The NFL, I'm sure, is fine with it because you have more players in the sphere, so whatever. So quarterbacks-wise, Kirk Cousins, Kellen Mond on the roster, Sean Mannion on the practice squad. Now, they basically brought Mannion back because, Kirk likes him in the quarterback room. Great. But I think that Kellen Mond is going to be rising up back on the streets, took his chances, and I think that he is going to be the true blue quarterback too, because the Vikings had every opportunity to replace Kellen Mond. They could have drafted a quarterback at any point. They could have brought in their own young free agent quarterback, but they didn't. Nate Stanley is going to be gone. But yeah, Mannion hanging around. Running backs wise, Dalvin Madison, who's in the final year of his rookie deal, King Kene, as well as rookie 5th round pick Ty Chandler. Now, I think Chandler will get some work on special teams as well as the third down back. AJ Rose, my guy, taking up a practice squad spot. UDFA Bryant Kobeck, not so much. Fullbacks, CJ Ham, the best fullback in the league. Jake Vargas makes a practice squad. Wide receivers, keeping 6. Because you need wide receivers when you're going to play a lot more 11 personnel. Jefferson, Thielen, KJ, ISM, BC makes it, man, as well as Jalen Naylor. Also, they're going to have Dan Chisena on the practice squad, and he's going to be a practice squad elevation type player because he's going to play a lot of special teams. Guy's not making it. So I'm really rooting for Blake Prohl coming back from that ACL. Plus, have you heard his music? It's really, really good, man. Myron Mitchell, Tristan Jackson, Thomas Hennigan, the UDFA, no go. Tight ends wise, so this one, I mean, besides Irv, just like throw a dart. Don't really know, but Irv in as tight end 1. I think they'll keep Ben Ellefson because he's a great blocking tight end, probably the best blocker of the other 4 tight ends. Nick Muse is really intriguing as a pass-catching tight end, but if you want to put him on the practice squad, put Davidson on the roster, put Johnny Munt on the roster since he has a lot of experience with Kevin O'Connell and Wes Phillips on the roster, and cut Zach Davidson, who Kwesi did not draft, put Nick Muse on the practice squad. I don't know. That one is a conundrum. Offensive line, so you're keeping 9 on the roster, which a little bit heavy, but it's not uncommon. So for tackles wise, you have Brian O'Neill, you have Christian Darrisaw, you got Blake Brandel, and then you got Verdarian Lowe, 6th round pick out of Illinois. It's going to be a long-term project for Chris Cooper and company, so keeping him on the practice squad, maybe he becomes the future swing tackle. Blake Brandel, I think, really impressed last season, but of course that means nothing with the new regime in there, but I think that he will prove it. Interior offensive line, so this one's tough. So the fact that we're keeping 8 interior offensive linemen in the sphere says a lot about what's going to go down. So you got Ezra, Bradbury, Chris Reed. I think that could be your starting 3 inside to begin the season at least. Wyatt Davis, Jesse Davis, the free agent. Ed Ingram, the 2nd round pick out of LSU. So you got 6 interior offensive linemen making the roster. And then you got Austin Schlottman, experience with back in the day with Chris Cooper and the Broncos. Then you got Kyle Big Hittin' Hinton, who they're working in at center reportedly. Then you got Josh Sokol not making the UDFA out of Sacred Hat. Defensive wise. So this is going to be a little bit different since the Vikings are primarily going to play a little bit more 3-4 as opposed to the 4-3 that we've been used to with Zimmer. But edge rushers, So again, I separated edge rushers and five techs, defensive ends, in an odd man front or a 3-4. It's a little bit convoluted, but whatever. So edge rushers, stand-up guys, you got Daniil, Za'Darius, DJ, and Janarius Robinson. So I think Janarius Robinson has a chance to really impress because he does have a lot of experience as a stand-up. He does have experience as a hand-of-the-dirt defensive end as well. Plus, you can never have enough guys who can get the quarterback when you're going to a 3-4. So I got Zach McLeod, the UDFA out of the U, as well as Luigi Villan, Wake Forest, formerly at Michigan. I think that they're going to impress. I think they both make the practice squad. So, I mean, the Vikings just getting after with these freak athletes that are ready to rush the passer. Five techs, so defensive ends in a 3-4, outside shoulder of the offensive tackle. So, you got James Lynch, which I think is actually his natural position in the National Football League, where he played all over the place at Baylor. He hasn't really found his spot. I think he's a touch slow, doesn't have the length to be a standard 4-3 defensive end. I don't think that he has the size to hold up down after down on the inside, even though he played really nice as a pass rushing nose tackle last season. So I think five tech is his calling. Same thing with Kenny Willekes. Loved me some Johnny Tryhard. Patrick Jones is second. I think this could be his true calling as well as Usezi Otomehu coming in from the Gophers. Got him on the practice squad. Now, it's common to have fifth-round picks make the practice squad. It's common for them to make the rooster as well. So, I mean, this could be up in the air. But either way, I think the Vikings are perfectly set up for that five tech spot, where it's a lot of unselfish play, it's a lot of the dirty work, it's a lot of taking on bodies, freeing up your edge rushers. So I think the Vikings have a good cast of characters right there. Defensive interior, so it was hard to trim this one down. So I got Diesel Dalvin Thompson, of course. I got Harrison Phillips, of course, a free agent coming over from Buffalo, can play multiple spots. Both of those guys can play all along the defensive line. Julian Taylor, who is going to be a really interesting name. Former 49er, was in San Francisco when Kwesi was there. I think that he could impress given his versatility along the defensive line. And also Armand for Watts. I think that he impressed last season. I think that he'll do good things this year. I got Twyman on the practice squad. Easy to root for him. See what he can do in year two. As well as Tyree Stevenson on the practice squad as well, where he is 350 pounds a man, just getting it, man. Like a true blue 3-4 nose tackle. Like we're talking Vince Wilfork type size and type power. Yeah, I'm really excited what the Pride of Tulsa can bring. TJ Smith and T.Y. McGill, no go. Linebackers wise, so interior off-ball linebackers. So you got Kendricks, you got Hicks, you got the rookie Asamoah, who I think will eventually supplant Hicks. Eventually he'll supplant Kendricks. But yeah, you're generally going to have two 3-down linebackers ideally. I think Blake Lynch gets in there as well. It's hard to root against him. I think that Chaz Surratt and Ryan Connolly. And remember, the Vikings could just cut Chaz Surratt because they didn't draft him. It's whatever. But yeah, Surratt and Connolly making the practice squad. They got Troy Dye, the 4th-round pick from a handful of years ago. He's had opportunities, hasn't really found his spot, and with the new defense coming in, I don't think that his skill set, like there's not really a natural place for him in the new defense, so he is cut. Same thing with Tuff Borland. Cornerbacks wise, so keeping 7 in the sphere, you got P Squared, you got Booth, you got Shondon Sullivan handling things in the slot, as well as Cameron Tiny Dancer, Caleb Evans on the outside, Harrison Hand can play inside outside, and they got Nate Hairston on the practice squad as well. Of course, formerly of the Broncos, has a lot of experience with Ed Donatel. Guys not make it. Now, this is tough. So Chris Boyd, I like, but it might just be a numbers game because you're not really going to carry 8 cornerbacks on the 53 or 53 plus practice squad. And they got Perry and Ty Smith. Safeties wise, this one's pretty easy. Harrison, yeah. Let's spell Harrison's name right, damn it. Oh. There we go. Much better. All right, so Harrison, Cameron Bynum, Lewis Seen. I think that there will be a rotation of 3. I think you also see all 3 of them on the field at the same time. Josh Metellus is a really good special teamer, and he'll have to make a new impression with the new regime, but I think that he'll do it. And then we decide not to carry any safeties on the practice squad. So looking at, so you got 25 on the offense, 25 on the defense, 3 specialists. Specialists, yeah. Joseph made it. Burkic, Ryan Wright, no go. So the 2 UDFAs don't make it. Now you could keep a kicker on the practice squad. Teams will do that with expanded practice squads, but we'll see. Jordan Berry and Andrew DePaul, of course, make out the triumvirate. And practice squad. zooming in and enhancing. So 16 players on there. You got Mannion Rose, Vargas, Dan Chisena, Zach Davidson, Verdarian Lowe, Austin Schlottman, Kyle Hinton. Then the 2 rookie edge rushers, Zach McLeod, Luigi Villan, Waluigi, Jalen Twyman, Asezio Tomehu from the Gophers, Tyree Stevenson, Chassarat Connolly, and Nate Harrison. But, I mean, there were some really tough decisions, man. Really, which is a good problem to have. Like, if it's so easy at this time of year to whittle down your 53-man roster, you don't have enough talent. And the fact that it was like pulling hairs towards the end, just deciding who makes the 53, who makes the practice squad, and who has to go, I mean, it's a good sign. I think the Vikings, that's exactly why Kwesi decided to keep this roster largely intact, because there's a lot of talent there, and hopefully with new leadership and new coaching, they can coax out double-digit wins, make a run at the North, make a run in the playoffs, and hoist Enter Lombardi at the end of the season. Gold Glendale. That's right, man. But that's it. That's our way too early 53-man rooster projection for the Minnesota Fighting Vikings. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Don't support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.